This is LKJ Sports. My name is Clayton. I have here with me Leo and LJ.
What up? What up?
This episode, we're going to talk about the NBA playoffs. We're just going to give a good review of the past playoff rounds, and then after that, we're just going to do a preview of the finals. And so we're going to start off with Leo. Go ahead.
First off, man, can I say I miss y'all boys, man? It's been a minute, man. I miss y'all boys, man. But I can't lie though, man. The theme of this playoffs has been injuries, man. It's been injuries, man. And sometimes going all sports, right? And they say to be a champion, you got to have some luck involved, man. Sometimes you got to be lucky, better. You got to be luckier than you are good, right? And don't get me wrong, if you win the whole thing, you're damn good, but it involves a lot of luck, right? Boston wins the title last year, right? You got to think about some of the luck stuff that they ran into last year with the Knicks dealing with injuries and some of the teams, some of the better teams that they were going to face in the East. They didn't have to go through last year. They won the title. Everybody's healthy, right? This year, Tatum blows his Achilles, right? Damian Lillard blows his Achilles, right? Steph hurts his hamstring, right? Some of the best players have just it kind of takes some of the luster out of it, but because some of the you always want to. It's just for me, maybe it's just for me, but I want to see the best go against the best. Everybody fully loaded and made the best team win, right? That's what I've always got my most enjoyment out of sports because when you beat a team shorthanded, people always want to make excuses. Well, they lost because so and so wasn't there, or they wasn't because so and so wasn't there, but. So that's kind of took a little bit of the sting out of these playoffs, man. But man, just starting with the East, Indiana, man, they're just a comeback kings, man. Just what they did against Milwaukee, and then going against taking out Cleveland in five, and then going against the Knicks and taking them out in six, man. I don't even want to talk about that. So if y'all can refrain from talking about the Knicks and Indiana series, I would really appreciate it. But again, man, and what I've loved about these playoffs is it's been the rise of the small market, which Clayton will love to hear, and the rise of no more super teams, man. We have competitive balance now, right? You don't have a team with three or four or five of the top 10 players on one team making the game unfair. Indiana, right? Halliburton, he's a fringe superstar, right? He's an all-star, but he's not quite yet a superstar, but he's their best player, right? Siakam has won a title. Miles Turner, just a good player, right? Neesmith, good player. Andrew Nembhard, good player, right? But no, you don't have those top five, top 10, top 15 players. They just play well together as a team, right? Rick Carlisle won a coach with the Dallas Mavericks. Won a title with the Dallas Mavericks. So they got the coach. And Indiana, man, they're just humming. The thing I love about Indiana is they don't give up, right? Um, which has been made for a very interesting playoffs, man. And Halliburton is a guy on the rise, man. He's a lot better than I thought. He's a great passer. And the thing about Halliburton, which we talk about to give a little football analogy, man, is he puts up the points, but he doesn't turn the ball over. You know what I'm saying? He'll have 15 assists with zero turnovers or one turnover or two turnovers, right? You can live with that because again, what's the most prized possession in any sport, right? The ball or the puck or whatever the main central figure is, right? And in this case, it's the basketball. That's the most central thing you can have, and he doesn't turn it over, right? And when you don't turn it over and you play adequate defense and you're hitting, more threes than you miss, you got a good shot, man. And Indiana, man, everything came together. Like I said, I've been interested to see them against a fully healthy Cleveland, fully healthy Boston. But again, we are where we are, man. You can't take it away from them. And then in the West, man, what can I say? Them dogs in OKC. That's what I call them boys, man. Them dogs in OKC. Presti, man. Like, we actually had this conversation before. Y'all kind of gave me a hard time when I said the pressure is on Presti. He's got to deliver because the Thunder have had too many good teams for them to not have won a championship yet. Right? And I know y'all disagreed and pushed back, but in my opinion, the Thunder should have won the title by now because they've had too many good teams. And he's had so many good players we don't even have to name them all because you know them all, from KD to Westbrook to Hart to everybody, right? For the Thunder not to have won a title, right? there's literally no excuse for the Thunder not to win the title, right? And he did it the right way. He didn't try to go the super team route. He built through the draft. That's one thing I'll give Presti. He's a hell of a when it comes to the draft. He's a guru at picking talent. Because the Thunder, man, from that, what I think is fair to say, they're 11, 12 deep, right? I think that's fair to say. And when I mean deep, I mean all 12 of them can play. So they just have a really good, well-rounded roster. I think the key was getting Caruso and also Hartenstein. I think that put the Thunder over the top this year because we talked about it last year. They were lacking that. They needed a big man. And then Caruso is just Mr. Energizer Bunny who does everything. He's like a jack of all trades. He can defend. He can make open threes when you need him to. He's a leader, right? He's a veteran on that team because they're so young. And Caruso, I think, is only 31 years old, but he's a veteran on that team, which is what they need. But the West playoffs were interesting, man. Luka and LeBron coming together late. I think with that, they didn't have a big, so it's going to be hard for the Lakers, man. Timberwolves, I've never been a big Julius Randle fan from when he was with the Knicks, so I never really expected much out of them. Now, the Nuggets did kind of surprise me with them firing their coach like 3 or 4 games before the playoffs, and they went on that run. And like I say, man, injuries. Michael Porter Jr. having a hurt shoulder. Aaron Gordon hurting his hamstring in Game 6, wasn't fully healthy in Game 7. Again, I'm rocking with the Thunder. I think they're going to win anyway. But it would have been interesting to see if the Nuggets were fully loaded, what would happen, right? Because that's the only team that really matches up well with the Thunder because like we talked about, bro, that Thunder don't do well when they got a true big like you always talk about. And Jokic is, at worst, he's the second best player in basketball, right? You go SGA, Jokic, whatever you want to say. So that was interesting. But, the cream always rises to the top, man. And like I said, the Thunder did it the right way, man. They developed. What I love about the Thunder is that they developed their own people, man. They didn't have to go out. Besides Caruso and Hartenstein, they didn't have to go outside. And those aren't superstars, you know what I'm saying? Those are just glue guys that make your team a championship team. And so they developed their own players, man. And I think that's what made this run so special. And it means so much to the city, as you all know. Like I said, man, if they find a way to pull this off, it's going to be scary for the league because they ain't going to do nothing but give them confidence. And even their coach, man, he came from coaching the G League to now he's one of the top 3 or 4 coaches in the NBA, right? Mark Daigneault. So I just like the way the Thunder did it, man. I just hope that Clay Bennett and the owners of that team do not make the same mistake like they did with Harden and all those other players and just pay these people, man. Just pay them, man. You know what I'm saying? You can afford it. In Oklahoma, that money goes a long way. Pay SGA, pay. Now I'm about to sound like a hater, then I'm gonna pivot to you. I would not pay J-Dub personally. I don't think he's the guy we need. I know the Thunder got a good chance of winning the title this year, but you guys know I've been consistent on this. I've never thought Jalen Williams was that guy. Never. And there's been games where we lost because he didn't show up, right? And even in the games we win, a lot of times he doesn't show up, right? But our defense is so smothered that we overcome him, right? Personally, I wouldn't mind flipping J-Dub I wouldn't even mind flipping for older KD or anybody. But since we know that's not going to happen, you got to pay the guys you got, man. Pay these people and grow and continue to stack titles, man. And that's my opinion. I look forward to it's going to be interesting finals. I know we're going to break that down in a minute, but it was just as a sports fan, it's just exciting to see it done the right way and people aren't trying to stack teams and trying to take shortcuts to win the title. What you got, bro?
Yeah, I'll take it. I think everybody injuries are a big factor in this playoffs. Arguably, I say in the West, like I said, I would say the Nugget series was probably one of the best ones in the playoffs on the West side. Trying to think overall. Thought certain teams would go a little bit further. I'm not saying they would have made it to the Western Finals at all. Thought Golden State might have made it up a little bit further. A couple teams in there. I didn't think the Western Finals would end the way it did. I thought we'd go a little bit further, like another Game 7 type thing between the Thunder there. It didn't happen. So I think it shows that the Thunder team is really ready to become a championship team. Defense is playing fantastic. really just whether they lose one game in the playoffs, come back, they rebound really well. Not taking these losses to heart. Coming back with a game plan and then sticking in there, right? Especially after that Nugget series, some losses there, come back, going back and forth for the most part after those first two. But those are interesting. East Coast, I said I won't bring up your team, so I'll refrain from there. But some interesting ones there, like I said, Celtics getting out. I think obviously that was one a little kind of worried about in the East if they were to end up making the championships, but we are at the finals. What is it? Thursday, so two days away. Finals, June 5th. I think the deciding factor is already happening coming from the playoffs. Is watching this dominant performance of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Being from Oklahoma City, I think it's pretty cool seeing your team do really well. Obviously, I'm not a Thunder fan all year round, but definitely got to support the local team. I think it's huge for the state. Curious what they can do going forward from here. I think it'd be heartbreaking and devastating if they can't come away with the championship win. I think it'll devastate the state and all the fan bases. But I see it going that route. Again, we'll get into that here in a minute. But overall, the playoffs been it's been entertaining, been fun to watch the games. Just see what's going on. But as you said, taking away some of the big name players, whether it be injuries or things like that, not seeing them in there. Does kind of take away from I think a little bit of viewership aspect, right? You want to see certain players on the court and see them do their best, lead their team. Definitely could have been a factor getting them to different teams making it throughout the bracket, different spots. But I mean, it is a sport. Injuries are a factor. If you're not available for your team year round, and when you need them, your team's going to cost, right? I think it's another thing to attribute to the Thunder. Got a very deep bench out there, so if a player goes out, you can swap them in and expect really productivity. Obviously not going to be the exact productivity, but you have enough depth there to interchange your players if injuries happen throughout this. So I think it's a big factor there. But yeah, I mean that's what I got. You covered a lot of the big stuff over there. I agree with you on a lot of the aspects, but ready to get this one over with and see what happens next year. So let's figure it out. Clay.
Yeah, I mean, y'all hit on a bunch of key spots. I will say, this is given that the two teams in the finals, have a large, have a bench, they can play, up to 10 players. I think that is what you need in order to survive. You can say boo-hoo I'll say boo-hoo to all these teams that have all these players injured because a lot of them are top heavy,
Right.
And when you're top heavy, you have a chance of losing, or some of your players aren't healthy, You look at these short bench teams, the Knicks, they're top heavy.
I agree.
I'd say Golden State, it's kind of top heavy, They can't trust some of their other guys, and they don't get as good results. I mean, if the Rockets didn't choke, I think, given that this was their first playoff experience, I think Rockets are the better team. But
I agree. I picked them to win the series, so I agree with you.
They just didn't have the experience together, and they choked. And Warriors are more experienced with Steph, Jimmy, and Draymond. So, that's what got them through that series because otherwise I don't think they would have survived that. Luka's defensive liability. I don't think Lakers are ever going to win a championship with Luka on their team. Sorry. That's just how I am. Jokic, defensive liability. Sorry.
Not so much as Luka, though, bro. Not like Luka, though.
It's only because they hide it. They hide it with the zone. They played zone against the Thunder to hide Jokic's defensive liability. I mean, he's not as bad as Towns, but
hell no, he ain't.
You put them both in a pick and roll, and there you go. It's easy points right there. So, Jokic is considered top two team or top two player in the league, but he can't really play defense. He's a defense liability. Like, we got to start looking at these European white players. I'm sorry. They're not as athletic. We need to stop pumping. The league is pumping them up. The media is pumping them up to make money. But if you attack them in the playoffs, which is exactly what happened to Luka last year, and was exactly what happened to Jokic this year, like, they won't be in the conversation. You know, we go after Rudy, you know, because he wins Defensive Player of the Year awards, but if you put Jokic out there just like Rudy, you're gonna get similar results. Like, so I mean, yeah, he will. They'll go right around. Jokic gets in foul trouble too.
Jokic has improved as a defender.
Jokic will also he'll actually probably foul him, unlike Rudy, but nobody wants to say it. Nobody wants to, call out how Jokic is. How can you be MVP and be a defensive liability? Really? Like, it's just. I mean, Shea, he fouls, yes, but he's reliable to I'd say not like specialist on defense, but he's at least reliable to. He'll poke the ball. He'll cover his guy. You know, he'll do enough. You know, and he's not supposed to because he has all these players around him that can too. So, that's why I just feel like it should be a bigger gap than what people think. You know, Jokic, if you have to plan around his defense, you know, play the zone against the Thunder because he's going to be liability, then he should not be considered as MVP. I'm sorry. Two-way players. You go after MJ. Any player going to go after MJ on defense? I don't think so. You go after Kobe? I don't think so. You go after Giannis? I don't think so. You're not going to...
You're going to go after Giannis.
No, you're not going to attack Giannis on defense.
No. Go look at how they lost to Indiana. Halliburton went right around it.
I don't know, man. He's more than Jokic, though. He's better at defense.
No, yeah. I agree. But I don't think Jokic is god awful on defense anymore.
I'll even give
Luka is.
Embiid. I'll give Embiid better defense than Jokic.
But he does so many other things, though. That's the thing.
You're going to be the MVP of the NBA? And
Yes.
You're going to be a defensive liability?
He's not a liability, though.
Yes, he is.
They're not losing because of so let's be honest. Did they lose to the Thunder because of Jokic's defense?
Yeah.
I know, but did they lose? So because of Jokic's defense, why they lost to the Thunder?
His turnovers too. His fouls too.
He had some bad turnovers. He had some high turnovers.
He fouled out.
He did have some high turnover again. But I'm just saying, is he the reason they lost?
He's part of the reason.
He's probably. If there's 5 reasons, he was number 5.
The other reason is they're not deep.
They're not deep. They're not deep.
That's part of their management. They need to get, and their players were hurt. You know.
I agree.
Michael Porter was hurt. He was hurt the whole
series.
Aaron Gordon got hurt. Yeah, throughout
Game 6.
I mean, he protects Jokic. Like
he's good. He's a very good fit for that team.
Yeah, he's perfect for Jokic because Gordon can. I love Gordon. Like as a player, like just the way I like him on Thunder. Instead of Hartenstein, like that would be a perfect fit.
Hartenstein's a great fit.
Him with Chet, they could, move the ball around, do exactly what I don't know. I just like it. But yeah, I think that was, and then with Timberwolves, I just think, man, they choked. I feel like, I don't know, something about them that just, they just, everyone wants to say Anthony Edwards is the face of the league, or they want to be able to pass it to him. He's 23 years old. He doesn't have a three level game. He can't play the mid game like SGA does. He scares away from driving and dishing when it came to playing the Thunder. He like you got to be aggressive and drive and then dish. You can't just stay on the 3-point line and just kind of stand around while the rest of your players, just do it. Because their one game that they had that was close, game 4.
What series are you talking about? Timberwolves Thunder?
Yeah, Timberwolves Thunder.
Game 3 is the one we lost.
So game 4, the Thunder won by 2. And
right.
That was the most that Timberwolves scored because the bench came to play. The bench shot their threes, and they had a great game on the
Nas Reed played well.
Yeah, DiVincenzo, Alexander Walker, they were shooting their threes. They get in their threes, But Ant he didn't have a good game. All he had to do was shoot one more three and make
I think only good game he had was game 3, probably, to be honest.
And that was the blowout, right? That was
a blowout game. Yeah.
So he doesn't have that mentality. I'm surprised because from last year, they showed up, beat Denver. They just didn't show up against Dallas.
Dallas. Yeah.
I gotta look at that game to be sure, but I'm just surprised because usually, in the NBA, teams have to build up. They have to build their confidence in the playoffs. It's not just always straight shot to the playoffs or to the finals. A team doesn't just come out of the blue.
No.
Usually, it's you have to pay your dues, right?
Just you got to go through some heartache.
Yeah, the Pacers, they did theirs last year. They've been building. Thunder have been building. So, but I'm not surprised. These two teams, Celtics, they could.
Well, you got to be surprised about the Pacers, though, right? I know the Thunder can't surprise you, but you're not surprised the Pacers are in the finals?
No, because Boston choked. I think they choked even before Tatum went out. They were not the same team. Porzingis was injured too. He has some underlying issues. I don't know.
He has some illness or something.
Yeah, he has something going on, and I don't think they've publicly said it, but he's got something going on, and he's not the same. So that whole Celtics, they kind of just, I don't know, something went wrong behind the scenes, and then it showed up on the court with their 3-pointers. They weren't making their 3-pointers. So it just wasn't the same Celtics teams, even though potential-wise it is the same Celtics teams. So I'm not surprised that the Knicks beat them, but I think Celtics are still better than the Knicks. It's just they didn't show up. And it was just.
So can I honestly ask this? And this is not to start another debate because we could have this at a different time. But I honestly feel like it's a little bit unfair and disingenuous for people to say that even though one team beat the other, I still think the other team is better. The Knicks beat them. I don't understand how Boston could be better than them.
Well, I'm talking potential-wise. I still think basketball can be like that, in my opinion. Some teams are hot, and I do think Knicks at this time are hot, but throughout the whole season, everyone thought Celtics were better than the Knicks, and they were.
Oh, yeah.
At the right time during the series, yes.
The Knicks were the better team, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
At the point in time, yeah, no, I agree.
And I think in basketball it's even more of a thing because you got to beat them 4 times. It's not like football where you only get one game, and if you have an off game, you could be the number 1 seed and still get beat. But bro, if you beat somebody 4 times out of 7, you're better than them.
I also think that basketball is more mental. It's one of the most mental games professionally. There's little physical gaps between these players, and I really think it's a lot of mental. Like we said, they take their licks because mentally, a lot of these players just get better, and because physically they're all crazy physically. They all, they don't gain much strength. I don't see them. Maybe Giannis over 5 years, but still. Towards these, the peak of these players' seasons, I don't think they gain much other than mental.
Right.
It's all a mental thing,
Right.
Because you look at past finals winners in NBA, I swear it's the most compete or most consecutive winner. like they win the most like three-peats and stuff like that. Like other than recent NBA, of course, but in the past, like there were so many, winners,
repeat champions and
repeat champions.
Yeah, I got you.
I feel like over any sport, like because I just think basketball is really mental when it comes.
And it's easier to retain all your talent in basketball than it is in other sports too.
Yeah, and you need less players.
Yeah, for sure.
So your core is, three players,
Right.
So, yeah, I get that. Cavaliers got injured.
No, they did.
I don't know what happened there. They choked. Like whatever. Celtics and Cavaliers are a mystery to me. Like they had all three starters out one game. Like what is going on there?
Yeah, I don't know.
So the door just opened up for Pacers.
It did.
But they just played solid. They just kept their head down and just played. I mean, besides celebrations, but
as quiet as it's kept though, bro, that's people don't want to talk about this. That's Donovan Mitchell though. Even when he's with Utah, anytime he's had a good team, like they beat the Thunder that year, and then he laid an egg. The 1 year they were the number 1 seed, he laid an egg. Cleveland last year, Cleveland this year, bro, they won 60-something games. They lose in Indiana, but he's always done that. He has those good teams, and when the playoffs come, he doesn't show up.
I don't think he had a chance against the Pacers though, because they were hurt. They had players out.
But are you that guy or not though? Like we talk about, are you that guy or not? Are you that guy or not?
He had Mobley out. If you have your second,
no, but that's one guy.
Then they had Darius Garland was out.
Darius Garland missed one, but the other games that he had him, they still lost. All I'm saying is people hype Donovan Mitchell up to be a super. All I'm saying is, bro, sometimes you have to be able to overcome when bad things happen to you. Are you that guy or not? That's all I'm asking.
I think it was too much to overcome. Like,
okay,
if they were healthy, starting playoffs into. I think they would have been, if Celtics didn't show up, then they would have been closer to the Pacers. Not a 4-1 series, No,
5 was surprising for sure.
Yeah, so I would have been like maybe a 7-game series, and Pacers maybe still could have won,
Right.
Because I think, they just, but it's bad luck. I think just
sure.
Bad luck.
Yeah, luck is a factor. Luck is a factor when it comes to keeping your players healthy. I mean,
that's in any sport, though.
I mean, obviously it's on the player, but yeah, it's on the player.
No, not necessarily, bro. When you blow your Achilles, that's not the player's fault. That's a non-contact injury. It just blows.
That's the luck aspect. The other ones are keep your body in good physical health, you recover yourself. But
yeah, okay, yeah. I got you.
There's ones that are just luck, man.
But a lot of those sprained ankles, man, and like when Steph Curry hurt his hamstring, bro, there's nothing you can do about stuff like that.
Yeah, that's kind of that the luck aspect. Luck of the draw, luck of the dice. As far as sometimes there's gonna be injury that's just gonna happen. Can you play through it? Can your team recover without you?
It's hard to measure, but some of these are associated with not having a larger bench, like a hamstring injury could possibly be because of overexertion, right? Like
too much play time.
Yeah, too much playing time. So it's possible. It's just how you're gonna measure that. I don't think.
Yeah, there's no way to know, but that's a fair point.
You can,
but a lot of
finger,
right? But those Achilles and sprained ankles, like when you land on somebody's foot or you blow your Achilles bone, it's just a luck of the draw, man. I tore my Achilles. I don't think there's nothing you can do to prevent that, in my opinion.
Yeah, unless it would be so hard to determine.
Right.
Some people say, stress, possibly. I don't know. Stress causes a lot of things, right? But who knows how to measure that, really.
Sure, sure.
Leo, if you want to do like a finals preview.
Okay. You ready? Boy, hey, we go to this finals game, fellas. Hey, OKC about to be lit on Thursday, man. It's about to be lit. Hey, it came out, but I want to get some in-depth, mind-blowing analysis right now. But it's hard to do, bro, because I think the Pacers are outmatched. I really, really do, bro. I'm not trying to get overconfident. Bro, but I think the Thunder are so much better than Indiana, bro. It's just, I mean, the only player where it's kind of like, the only players where it's kind of like close. NCAA obviously is better than Halliburton. I'm saying Halliburton is still really good, right? In my opinion, I think Siakam's better than J Dub. Y'all may disagree. I think Siakam's better than Jalen Williams, personally. That's just me. Now, every other position, I think Thunder are way better than Indiana, right? But it's just, honestly, man, and I feel like I'm being generous. My heart wants to say sweet, but I got to think with my mind, and I'm going to go 5 because I think Indiana's going to win game 3 at home. And I think we're going to smoke them in game 4. And then I think we're going to win game 5 at the crib. And that would be even sweeter, right? To win the title in the city with all those fans and everything going. But real quick breakdown, man, it's just, it's kind of similar styles Indiana likes to run, Thunder like to run, right? Indiana can put up threes, Thunder can put up threes, but it's just going to come down to, can Indiana score in the half court, right? What I mean by that is when they're not getting the rebound off a miss and pushing the fast break and trying to run, and the Thunder have their defense set, can Indiana get a good shot? I don't believe they can, because besides Halliburton and Siakam, they don't have anybody that can create their own shot. Nesmith's a great shooter, but he does a lot of his work off the dribble handoffs, DHOs, and a lot of pin downs, and a lot of driving kicks, wide open threes, right? Miles Turner, same thing. He's not somebody you can just dump it down to, right? Nembhard, same thing. You're going to give him the ball off screens and things like that, right? Now, there is a caveat, right, which I think is highly unlikely. If Halliburton averages 30 in the finals, the Pacers can push it to 7 games. But that's not his game, and I don't think he's capable of doing that, right? But again, can Indiana score in the half court? And I don't believe they can against the Thunder. And like I said, I'm giving the Thunder their 5, but at the same time, I sound like a hater because another player I'm not a fan. I'm not a Lou Dort guy. I know he's a great defender, but I think his lack of offense is so atrocious that it almost cancels out his defense for me, right? He's a great defender, but he's such a bad offensive player that it almost, I just wish we would get rid of him at times, right? I know he has use, and I know he fits in well with the Thunder, but bro, he misses so many open shots, and a lot of times he's like not even close, barely hitting the rim, and it's just frustrating to watch. But he's a all world defender, so I can't knock him, man. I gotta give him credit. But I just don't see the Pacers being able to score enough. Like I say, especially when they get in the half court, they don't have enough guys that can create their own shot. Right? And I think the Thunder are going to be able to exploit them. SGA, you can call him a free throw merchant all you want. He's the best player in the playoff. He's been the best player in the league all year. Led the league in scoring. If the Thunder win 90%, he's probably going to be Finals MVP, right? So, I mean, who's going to guard him, right? I know we can say that about a lot of great players, but honestly, who's going to guard SGA? Halliburton, okay, good luck. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think if J Dub is on, man, but that's just a big if, and I think that's my big issue with him. And again, I get a lot of flack from my Thunder brethren, that I know about J Dub hate, man, but I think he's too inconsistent for my liking, man. It's your number 2 guy. We need you to be there because there's going to be times where SGA needs you he needs you to have his back, man. More times than not, J-Dub is nowhere to be found, right? In my opinion, our second best player has been Alex Caruso and then Chet Holmgren. To me, these playoffs, right? I know it may sound crazy, but and I think J-Dub's been number 4. But again, I'm going 5, man. I'm going Thunder at 5. I think Thunder gonna close out in OKC. I think Thunder gonna win game 1 by over 20 points. I think Paycom Arena, I was about to say Chesapeake. I think Paycom Arena is going to be rocking on Thursday. I think Indiana keeps it close in game 2. I think they win game 3. I think game 4 is a close game. Thunder pull it out like they did against Minnesota. And I think we beat the hell out of them in game 5. And we bring the title home to OKC. I think Thunder going to win the title, man. And I think Thunder going to make the finals next year. I'm not predicting the Thunder win yet. I think the Thunder going to go back to the finals next year, man. The worst thing that can happen to the NBA is the Thunder winning this championship. because their confidence is going to go through the roof. Under the fuck up. That's all I'm gonna say. The title is coming to OKC, baby. LJ, what you got, man?
Yeah, I'm going to keep mine short and sweet. I would love to, I got to be respectful to the competitor coming into this one, right? Be respectful to the East. I'd love to say, a sweep, but I think it's disrespectful. It's the finals.
You're good. If you
I think every team has got an opportunity to win at home. So I'm gonna give them one win at home, right? I'm going 5 as well. I'm going Thunder. I think they just proven. I think if you ask, if you were to Google like any sports analyst or any announcer, I think everyone's pretty much confirmed that the championship is done. However, I've been wrong this season or this year with other championship predictions.
More times than not.
Other championship predictions, I just assumed, in another sport, another team was going to just roll over, and they got upset really bad. So, I'm still going to go with it, though. I'm still going with Thunder in 5. It's going to be crazy. I'm staying away from the downtown area during those games because the traffic's going to be insane. I'm sure the Thunder fans are going to show out like crazy. So those first 2 games, I would be surprised if anyone on the court can hear anything besides the Thunder fans yelling. It's just about to be wild and insane. But yeah, no, I'm going Thunder in 5. If it could be a sweep though, just full transparency, I think it's a possibility it could be a sweep, but I think out of respect to the other team that made it to the finals, I think we can give them 1 game at home. What about you,
Dark Horse MVP, Alex Caruso. Go ahead, bro. Finals MVP, that is.
Oh, man, you're crazy. Man, Jalen's better than that. He's growing. He's developing these playoffs. He started off rough, but so did SGA started off rough. So I think he's going to show up in these playoffs, but I think the whole team is going to have a time where they're going to have to settle down. This is their first experience. They've shown where they get a little too hyper, and they need to settle down sooner the better, because then that's when they can start playing how they should be playing, this first game. But I think Pacers may end up being the same way. They need to settle down too, because they got a lot of new players, players with new experience for their first finals too. Yeah, I think it's at least going to go 5. I never like to underestimate the opponent. I the whole in 6 though. I'd love to say the number 6, but the fact that that's going to be in Indiana is what's going to, get me. If that. Right? Because that'll be,
Yeah. It's 2-2, 1-1-1. Yeah, Game 6 would be in Indiana.
That's the only reason I don't like it. Otherwise, I'd say 6. But to say 7 is.
Well, there's no way Indiana's beating us 3 times. No way.
Indiana can shoot threes, and that's Thunder's weakness. If they can get open threes, which Thunder give up all the time. As soon as you rotate the ball, Indiana has been shooting better than, Timberwolves, and it's just the only way to prevent that is good defense. And if they come in playing their defense, Indiana's not going to be used to that type of pressure,
Right.
So that's where I think they can cover up on 3-pointers is get in the passing lanes, because I was watching that series between Knicks and Pacers, and they were making some sloppy passes, and Knicks weren't, they weren't as aggressive as Thunder are with the passing lanes and getting tips and going fast break and stuff like that. So I think that's where the Thunder have to win, is playing their defense with pressure and passing lanes and getting in there. But if they slack off and Indiana makes those threes, that's Indiana's half-court offense right there for you. It's either fast break, on their defensive end, going fast break the other way, or they're going to start shooting threes, because Turner can shoot threes, past Thunder games, you see big man, they shoot threes. Naz Reid killed us a couple of games, when he's on fire.
Wicked game.
I hated when Naz Reid would just go off. So Turner can do that. He can shoot those threes. And if Carlisle's the coach, Pacers, he's gonna be smart about it. He's not just gonna play into that defense.
Oh, I agree.
But I don't. The problem is are Pacers gonna play zone? Because zone is what kills us, right? Because SGA can't get into the zone, into the paint as much, and then then sometimes we go through dry spells with 3-pointers. Now, but I don't know if Pacers are going to play zone, because Neesmith is going to probably be on SGA, I would assume.
Probably.
And Nembhard, them two are going to kind of go back.
Yeah,
and forth.
rotate off. Yeah, for sure.
So I see that. I don't. Halliburton, I don't think he'll ever be on this.
No, because he'll get in foul trouble.
Just if we get him on a switch, maybe.
Yeah, right.
But I think it's going to be between Nembhard and Neesmith, and for some reason 6 just sounds right to me. It's just that it's in Indiana. That's the only reason. So I'm going to say 5. In 5.
Boy, I thought you was about to say 7. You scared me. I'm like, man, you
it's going to be either 5 or 7. I'm telling you right now. I feel like that's what's going to be, 5 or 7.
Oh, it's more likely to be a sweep than it is to go 7 games.
I don't know. Because they always give up a game. They always give up a bad game.
It's the finals, though, bro. I think we're so focused and ready.
They're young, though. They're young. So
game 1, we're gonna probably beat them boys by 30 points on Thursday. No bull.
They gotta be focused. Like they can't have a blunder. Pressure. The pressure can't get to them.
It will be interesting to see how they handle the finals pressure. It will be interesting.
Yeah, because sometimes SGA even tries to hog the ball.
He does.
And it's just like, bro, there's a wide open 3-pointer right there. And so I just worry that it just may not be smooth right away.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's again, Jalen Williams is the second best player. All right.
Not in my opinion. We have to agree to disagree.
When they're doing their best, he's got the mid-range game. He just is inconsistent, and I think it's just a mental block in the playoffs sometimes. But he's been developing more and more throughout the playoffs. He had a great game in the Timberwolves series.
He did.
Him just sustaining is exactly what I think a second guy does. SGA's, obviously number 1, but Jalen Williams sustains, and then Chet kind of just sprinkles in. He gives energy. He gives alley-oops at the rim. Blocks sometimes. Help defense blocks.
He's so talented, though.
He struggles in the weight game. He'll get he'll get pushed around. Well,
he's gonna be like a KD type guy once he feels into his body. Watch.
I think that's what he needs to mirror his body type off of his KD, because he ain't gonna get any bigger than that.
No. So he can still bulk up in certain ways, though.
Yeah, I think following KD's path would be, similar in a lot of ways. It's just, I just don't like how he feeds into the defense in a way, because he needs to be able to drive, maybe a pump fake, pivot, and then just do a little dump fade. He needs to stop trying to dunk on, I just feel like he was trying to dunk on these bigger big men, and if he doesn't beat them to the hole, then there's a good chance he's going to get blocked, you know. So what he needs to do is use his technique and just kind of either beat him to the hole or then just pivot out and do a little dump fade. And he can do that because he's got the shot, you know. He's got that little fade shot. Like he did that against Jokic one time. And I was just like, don't feed into it and get blocked, you know. I feel like Rudy blocked him a couple of times, and maybe, you know, in that Timberwolves series, I feel like there was a couple of plays where he just kind of ran into the block, you know, when he has so much skill than these other big guys. He can just stop on a dime, rotate, and then do a little hook shot or do a little fade shot right there. Like, it's so easy for him to outmaneuver these big men. You know, he's got guard skills, you know.
For sure.
So that's the only thing with him I don't like sometimes, you know. But yeah, the difference, the defense with Kaysen and Caruso, they just start it, you know. Even J-Dub, he even starts it.
He's a very good defender.
And on the fast break too, he'll get his fast break points too. So
yeah,
I think he contributes to that and gets that.
Yeah, he's important. He's just the fourth most important. That's all.
Okay. Sure.
Man, it was good to see y'all boys, man. Great combo, man. You know how it is, man. Appreciate the love, man. Appreciate the dialogue. Appreciate the bouncing off of ideas. Appreciate the respect, man. Appreciate all of it. But what we need you guys on the outside. We need subscribers. We need views. We need comments, right? Let us know how to improve. Tell us we suck. We thrive off that, right? We want to learn. We want to grow. Follow our page. Give us likes. Send it to your friends, your mama, your daddy, your grandmama, your little brother, little sister. Send it to everybody. We need all the love we can get. This is LKJ Sports. I'm Leo. That's LJ. That's Clayton. Again, this is LKJ Sports. You see what they put first? L. Peace.
Bye.